After the summer solstice, we fully dive into the Cancer season, which is ruled by the moon. And the crab, ruler of the fourth house, has themes like the old age, family ties, and the comfort zone of the home, in which we find our elders both here and gone, which have shared their wisdom and their knowledge so we can thrive on. And so I'd like to dedicate this season to the long gone, very evolved Cancerian man, which Andrew Tate wishes he could be. May the Lord rest his soul, Patrice O'Neill. In his body and stature, very big and bold, but on the inside, very sensitive. He shared the story of his teenage years in which he got falsely accused and it almost ruined his future. But he decided to monetize of his trauma and tell his story. So, like every American, he became a comedian. But he's not really a stage person, not really a crowd person, and very controversial. But that does not mean you have to change. That means you have to change your surroundings. So he brought his voice to the radio and joined the Opie and Anthony show. And people tune in. People dial in to listen to him and get his advice. These are some very controversial opinions, which I'll be sharing during the Cancer Rising, as we'll be talking about the moon, ruler of this upcoming season. And I know some people will call me a pick me for it, but just like the truth, the past will set you free, but first it will piss you off. And before we dive into this season, we're going to talk about Lilith in Libra because Lilith doesn't have a home. But Lilith in Libra. So Libra is very harmonious, very balanced, and very diplomatic. Lilith is very unharmonious, undiplomatic, and unbalanced. And Libra, ruled by Venus, very charming, sometimes using their charm to get their way. And who am I to tell you don't use your charm? Sometimes you do need to. So that suppression of, oh no, I can't do this, I'm a good girl, be a nasty girl. Be a nasty girl if you need to get there sometimes. And if you are a nasty girl, know like where do you want this relationship to get you? Sometimes contracts save you from going further, but sometimes there aren't really like written contracts. Either way, let's dive into Leo rising. And I don't really feel this Cancer season because let me tell you a little joke I just wrote. What do astrologers call a group of women twerking? A moon wobble. Yeah, whatever. But a moon wobble, we may feel a little. Let's just get into it and read that. But the sun for our Leo risings will be moving from 0 degrees to 29 degrees in your 12th house. And on 10 degrees, it will be encountering this square with the north node and the south node, causing the moon to wobble. And this will be 10 degrees, the Capricorn degree. And we have three full moons, which are kind of like ruled by Saturn, as the old ruler of Aquarius is also Saturn. What do you achieve? Where do you want to go? What do you want to reach with all this evolution you have been through? Because we have the four stages of life. I'm at the end of my personal development stage, going out of my youth, out of my young adolescence, and into my adulthood. Some people are going out of their adulthood and into their seniority, and some people are getting out of their seniority and going into their elder stage. Either way, acknowledge that this is the end of an era with this moon wobbling at 10 degrees of a cardinal sign with this cardinal square. What are you going to start? Where are you going to go? Because the summer solstice is also the sun's birthday. So the youngest you will be and the oldest you will be. And with this sudden realization in the back of your mind, being in its fall, like, what are we doing? I really don't feel too much like talking this upcoming season, as it is a season to dive into your feelings. But for you, my Cancerian friend, I will be dissecting all these five hard aspects with these Patrice O'Neill analogies. And just know that if the moon can wobble, I can wobble, and you most definitely can wobble. And we're allowed to. It's okay. It will be over soon. Either way, let's dive into the first major aspect, which is the full moon in Capricorn occurring on 1 degrees, but predominantly in the seventh house of partners and relationships. Note that relationships to me are also the business relationships, social relationships, emotional, spiritual, all the relationships, and the romantic ones, of course. So, full moon in Capricorn, 1 degrees, and I'm going to use the king makes the queen analogy. As when a king marries a random peasant, he makes her a queen. But when a queen marries a random peasant, that man will never be a king. So Patrice really scratches my Gemini in Mars, and I would love to debate him, but have to debate myself. As why he said, why would a king choose you as a peasant to be a part of his kingdom? What do you have to bring to the table? Because he already has the assets, he already has the value, he already has the name. But what do you bring? And a lot of people, I was watching Pop the Balloon the other time, and she was like, why would I be your piece if you can have need to have your own piece? Are you only there to take his piece, or are you there to add it to expand it? Think about it. And let's just think the other way around. When the queen chooses a random peasant, why would she choose a random peasant though? Because she already has the asset, she already has the name, she already has the. But what do you bring to the table? It's that nurture, it's that providing. What do you provide? It's more than just the tangible. Think about it. And let's just go on to the last quarter in your 10th house of legacy, reputation, what you leave behind, and how you will be remembered. Remembered for those actions you take, with the last quarter in your 10th house on 1 degrees. Home wobble. But I'm going to take the analogy of loud because of backup. Because Patrice's girlfriend was being loud and big to someone who was bigger than her, and he thought like, okay, let me just back up. She was like, oh my God, no, why did you go away? You know what could have happened? He was like, what could have happened? Because you got yourself in hot soup. Why do you think I'm going to take you out of it? If you have the actions, you better back yourself up. Don't bring yourself into trouble you cannot take yourself out of. And if we turn it around again, the other day I was watching this scammers online on Muscat, and this scammer, he brought the No Balance shoes and the Dolce and Gabbana and the Louis Vuitton, and went on dating sites when looking for a date and trying to be pompous, like I got this, I got that, I got whatever. So one of those dates lured him to the police, and the police caught him, and he was like, why do you think she would take you out of the hot mess you got yourself into? Don't bring yourself into trouble you cannot take yourself out to, and do not expect someone else to do it for you. Rely on yourself, because at the end of the day, you and your feelings, it's all you have. Let's go on to the new moon in Cancer. All these cardinal squares: start something, do something, initiate by being a better person, maybe. Either way, new moon, first house on 14 degrees. 14 degrees is the Taurus degree. New moon, new me. Analogy: ask a woman what she has to offer. I love this one because he goes on stage, he is on the radio, he's talking one on one to a woman, and he's asking, okay, you get into a car accident and the downstairs isn't working anymore, and your boyfriend, girlfriend, okay, let's just talk for two. What does a man have to offer? What does a woman have to offer? Devil's advocate over here. So the downstairs isn't working anymore, and boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever is staying for you like 2 months out of pity, But at 2 months, it's like, what do you actually really have to offer? What can you really do? And the woman in the crowd answered like, I got this and I got that and I got sis and I got so, and every time I'm so freaking disappointed because you went to school, right? What that head do? Don't you have like intellectual capacity? Don't you have that nurturing capacity? Be my piece. Can you not be someone else's piece? What do you really bring to the table if every hole is out of the question? And also for the men, if everything is out of the question, because I just kind of like got out of an Instagram comment battle because someone made this rambling video about why would I provide a woman with a drink in a bar when the next man will do it for her. And I twisted it around because Mars in Gemini, and I asked, why would you provide generosity and protection for a woman when someone else can do it for her? And he was like, yeah, you're waffling, you're not right. And people calling me broke and homeless. And I'm like, whatever. Either way, why is it always that people think providing and protecting is something tangible? Like, I got my own house. What house do you think you gotta bring? Just be a figure. Just be someone who can straal het uit. Just be someone who can straal het uit, or be someone who can wakker het aan, who can ignite that feeling of security in someone. But those things aren't tangible. It's all about the emotional, the physical, the spiritual, those bonds, again, those emotional bonds. And that has nothing to do with a water bottle you could buy for me or not buy for me, because I already got it, love. What can you do? What do you bring to the table? How do you nurture? New moon ruled by the moon in Cancer. On 14 degrees. 14 degrees, Taurus degree. What do you have? Off to the first quarter in Libra, which will be ruled by Venus in Cancer. So, investing, how do you feel about your investments? In the fourth house of the comfort zone. And this first quarter will be occurring from 16 degrees in Libra, and yeah, 16 degrees in Libra to 28 degrees in Libra, like the real moon. Wow. And yeah, if you're quick, you also noted that 16 degrees Cancerian degree, 28 degree, also the Cancerian degree. You know, right? Either way. Mm, Shark and penguin. Okay, and this one is really double because let's say He says, he said, the shark. You have a shark woman, you have a shark man, and at some point, the shark woman gets sick of the shark man bossing her around doing what he does in nature and in nurture, but she gets sick of it. And she's like, you know what? I'm gonna look for something somewhere else where I can be the woman, I can be the alpha. And she looks for a penguin. And the penguin is like, yes, queen, slay, queen, you got this. Don't try and do this. She is a strong, independent black woman, whatever. So the shark woman feels pompous, right? Feels pompous. And then she goes on in her life feeling pompous and big by all that ignition that the penguin did, and goes back to the shark just to be humbled again because you're a shark. Only a penguin would be like, oh, be with your own, thrive with your own, surround yourself with your own. And the same goes for the shark man. Because when the shark man feels like, oh, this woman, she wants me to eat less meat and less salt, and she's always trying to change me, blah, 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 blah. And you go to the penguin. The man goes to the penguin, telling you, "Oh, you got this. Oh, you're so good. Oh, thank you for protecting me and punching a hole in the wall. Or here you go. Here's another piece of bacon." Like, and that's that Lilith in Libra again. Those suppressed or repressed relationships we have. So you, even though as a shark, you know you got it the best with another shark, you would still go to a penguin to stroke your ego. What kind of crazy nonsense is that? Stop that. Stop that. Don't stroke your ego, stroke wherever you need to go. And sometimes you need to learn, and lessons keep coming back with Saturn moving retrograde in order to learn. But sometimes you are the one that needs to adjust. You don't necessarily need to change, but adjust a little bit. And if that shark isn't for you, just go to another shark, but never reduce yourself to a penguin. Let's go on to the yeah, because that Cancerian was a real penguin, bro. Either way, let's go on to the full moon in Capricorn, the second one on 29 degrees, the energetic degree. Calm down, because like every sign has an energetic degree, but it's always like, oh, the critical degree. Oh my God, the crisis may occur. Blah, blah, blah. No, it's just like the degree of completion, the Leo degree of completion. And the Leo is very expressive. How are you going to express all these things you have learned in that sign and go on to the new one? Because it's the cusp degree. We go from the one to the other. We have evolved. And like I said in the houses video, when you're in the eighth house of transforming and healing and evolving from all those trauma, all that hurt, eventually you want someone that's okay downstairs below, like no car accident. We give you 2 pity months. You want someone that's fair, that's a good person, and we'd like you to have your life in order. But sometimes we don't really have our lives in order. That's something we do in the eighth house after we have intertwined with someone. But let's go on to that full moon in Capricorn, which will be happening on the cusp of the seventh to the eighth house. In the seventh house of partners and relationships, at the first degree, we start. It's new, it's exciting, it's whatever. But at the end of it, you want someone that's complete, that you feel whole with, and that you can transform and heal with, so you can explore even further. So with that full moon on that cusp, in a conjunction with Pluto in retrograde, the planet of how you heal, how you transform, and alchemizing all that energy. What are you doing? What are you achieving? Where are you going? Okay, wait. Pisces for you is ah Pisces for you is in the ninth house of that expansion, of that exploration, and in Pisces is Saturn moving retrograde then and ruling that full moon on the cusp of that seventh and eighth house. Transform, heal, make the right choices, make the right adaptations and stuff, because in marriage, when you marry with someone, when you sign those contracts with someone, like, okay, we are now really business partners, we are really going into it, do you want them to be an asset or a liability? Why would you connive, if you're a shark, why would you mend with a penguin? And even though you found a shark, when you deal in apples, why would you find another shark that deals in pears? So you can fix the apples, fix the pears, and then we're going into this like, do you know how to add these pears? No. And everyone is always like, oh yeah, 50-50 relationship, 33-33. I don't care. 100% for you is 100% for you. If your max is at 33%, your max is at 33%. But if one has 33 apples and the other has 33 pears, and one is lacking 3 apples, can the pears add to the apples? Gemini rising, we're going to keep it short this season because it's hot outside. Go and play, but not before you know that your ruling planet will be moving from your second house of the self worth to your third house of the basic communication and the neighborhood kids. So, as we're going out in the neighborhood, we have a lot of new information to pick up and a lot of new skills to pick up. But do remember, we are staying in our lane and minding our business. So, as Mercury is the first in the cardinal T square and the mediator between the North Node and the South Node, the North Node and the South Node have been moving on your axis of evolution. How do you create, and how do you create in the world for your fans, for your future aspirations? Either way, as you're going out and encountering all these new people with all their exciting things, stay in your lane and tell them, no, you can sit with us because you're not like us. If they're not like you, just let them know. Not everyone can join the boat, remember? Let's go off to the Virgo risings, and your ruling planet will be moving from your 11th house of the future aspirations and the technology and stuff to your 12th house, the subconscious of the things we think about. And what I like to say is, do not forget that pride comes before the fall. What is it, because Venus is almost in Virgo? No, Mercury will be moving retrograde at the beginning of August, so it will just dip into Virgo, just to go back like, oh, have I been a little bit too selective over here? Have I been? Because boom selecta, that's you. Always very picky about this, about that, about this, about so. And that's not a problem. But have you shunned? Have you missed the boat by being too selective? Taurus rising, your ruling planet Venus will be moving from your third house of basic communication to your fourth house of the comfort zone. And will be also in a T square with the North Node and the South Node. And these nodes will be in your 12th house, the subconscious, and the 6th house of your work and the habits. So it's really about that basic knowledge. Remember what I said? You have to have people around you who value your new values and who can grow along with you. And if they cannot, let them get off the boat because it's not for them. You are not building all this comfort for them. It has not been done before, so it's very new and exciting, and everyone wants to know, and everyone wants to sit, and everyone wants to. Well, you're not for everyone. We cannot all be for everyone. Either way, lead the way. It hasn't been done before, and with Mars and Taurus, you are definitely one who can lead that way. Off to a Virgo risings, and Venus will be moving from your 10th house of your reputation, your legacy, to your 11th house of your aspirations, technology, and the future. And as you're a sign that loves like contact, it's also the pair relations we have. So let's see. Outgrow the stigma of your 10th house. Control the ties. But you're so this, but you're so that, but you're so. We have suppressed enough. I am actually not this. The fact that you see this when you look at me, or the fact that you have this idea of yourself in my head when you think, in your head when you think of me, is not my responsibility. Think of a no. That's actually a very diplomatic way to say it. Just tell him. Just tell him Libra rising. Just tell him. Hmm. T squared, 10th house. Oh yeah, because it's we're going into the 7th house, into the relationships and out of how you stand in relationships and out of what relationships are expecting and thinking of you. If they're like, oh Libra, I'm gonna cut you off. Good. We're going to keep it short and powerful. The other day, I had to call my brother, the Aries brother, and I told him, I don't know what you're thinking about, but just do it. So I'm going to tell you too, with the North Node over there and Chiron almost moving retrograde, just do it. You are not going to miss the boat. You are so capable. Play Kendrick Lamar, cut him off, as you are going to cut off everything and everyone that is doubting you just because they can. Sagittarius rising. I am going to do it to you again because listen up. I feel very dedicated to you as Jupiter is in its detriment sign in Gemini, so I'm just preparing you for its exalted sign. Because, like I said last month, you got to focus. We are done with adjusting. We're going to fully invest in this right now because this is going to be our focus for the upcoming 13, 14 years. So, this opposition with the moon, the full moon, and this opposition with the north node and the south node are forming the weakest grand cross ever. But I do not know where your planets lay. So if you do have planets in cardinal signs, and these are going to be in your fixed houses show a sense of purpose in your life. Just let me tell you, this world is really needing you to step into your leader role. And of course, I know you can do this, you can do that, you can do so, and you can do so, but where's your credibility, love? Do you have any credibility? That comes in Capricorn. Capricorn, your second house of self worth. If you don't have any credibility, where do you want to be for the upcoming 13, 14 years? Capricorn. Ooh, you're so special. Either way, first we have the full moon in your sign, which is ruled by Saturn, not moving retrograde. Then is Saturn is moving retrograde, and then Saturn is kind of like on the background of the full moon in Aquarius, as it is the old rule, like the parent in the back. Like, are you going through it right now? Because your ruling planet Saturn is moving in your third house of of Pisces, the basic communication, the skill set, like, oh, I want to go here, I want to go there. And like I told you last month, calm down, just like your ruling planet is calming down because we cannot see. We can just observe. Well, observing is seeing, but you can't see the outcome right now. You just have to stand back sometimes and observe. So observe the changes that are happening, observe the trends that are happening, observe where you can hop on, hop off. Either way, allow the light of the full moon to shine the way. And you're a feminine sign anyway. When I tell you, follow the currency, follow the flow. Aquarius, I lied to you last month because Uranus is going to move retrograde. Like, I think somewhere half July, maybe in August. Oh no, in September. I don't care. But it's going to start moving direct in January. That's why I said like. So yeah, you already knew that, of course. Aquarius rising. Listen up. Uranus is moving in your fourth house of the comfort zone. So all this adjusting, all this change, and it's really here. It's really here. Like the future. Is it really? Were we ready for this? Either way, the moon will show you the shortcomings of the world. The moon will show you, oh, this is where you can still revolutionize. This is where you can still use your fixed air to shine others. Oh my God, Pisces rising. There is no more time or space for self pity. I am telling you, as Neptune is going to move retrograde on the 2nd of July, right? It's kind of like Snooky wanting to go out for a drink and they're saying, no, the bar is closed. Sometimes you need to just grow up and do what you need to do, take a sip of water and go home. So take the adult approach because you are very mystical, you are very elegant, you are also very charming, and sometimes you need to use your charm to go to get where you want to go. But also know, are these people you're charming, are these people you're swindling for a long time or just for a good time? If they're for a good time, just do whatever you need to do. And I know I said hold your horses, but I didn't say hold your horses everywhere. Do what you need to do, love. Scorpio risings. What's Erica Badu's sun sign? Just play that song like times are changing because dive into the change. Be the change. Be ahead of the change. As your ruling planet, Pluto is moving retrograde in Aquarius, the bearer of water, the bringer of knowledge. But we're going to take all that knowledge back in the fourth house, in the comfort zone. No, 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 no. We're not going to get comfortable over here. We're going to destroy some old traditions first. Be ahead of the game, be ahead of the change, be the first one to say, okay, I got the war hammer up. What do we need to destroy so we can go back again? That fixed water energy, fixed perfecter, I'm going to finish it, most definitely. And water, intuitive healing. Even though there's all this destruction, we can still build.